Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wonderful family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the mental house with me, your host, Khadija. Listen, I'm just here because I want to make a correction on the video that I did the other day. I said that 8,000 jobs were lost, and what I should have said was that, and this was regarding the Starbucks um, fiasco. What I should have said was that 8,000 companies, well, Starbucks individual establishments are going to, 8,000 of them are going to have some diversity training, which is totally ridiculous, okay? Because you cannot police people's hearts. That's just number one. If a person is a racist, they're a racist. Now, what you can do is put policy and stuff in place that says that if you violate this, then this is going to happen to you. But in terms of just thinking that you can make policy that changes people's hearts, it really doesn't work. So unless you have a control, a consequence mechanism written into y'all meeting that y'all are going to have about diversity, which I think is very hypocritical if you're going to have the ADL give you the training. First of all, it's already off the chain as far as I'm concerned, and it's already inauthentic. It's not uh, it's not even viable as far as I'm concerned. Once you say you're going to put the ADL in it and their hands are dripping with blood, it becomes a problem for me. I don't know about nobody else. I'm just speaking for myself. Okay, you know what they say, opinions is like buttholes. Everybody got one. Okay, so this is just my butthole. Um, I think it's a problem. ADL having anything to do with that. In order to have some diversity training about how you are policing and dealing with black people, in my opinion, you got to have black people. You gotta have a black person, and you have a white person that's sensitive enough to understand, and that's going to concur with the black person. That's all it is, or the minority. Because it doesn't just stop with black people, but I'm representing black people just like the men that were in that Starbucks, and I think that of all the people that this society deem as minority, even though we know we 9/10 of the population, I think that black people are more of a target simply because we have no backup, we have no country backup, we have no allies. All we have is the United States of America, which treats us like um, uh, an abused child. In fact, we are America's abused child. Black people are America's abused, neglected, um, beat, beaten child, in my opinion. So we operate that way. We've been taught to not like ourselves. We've been trained to hate each other. We have been taught to fight one another and not get along with one another. And that is why you have this perpetual madness within our own clan, whether we're discussing who's light skinned or who's dark skinned, and all that stuff has to do with, I know I'm off the tangent a little bit, but all that has to do with the stuff that we were taught by our slave masters. So with that being said, when you look at this whole thing evolving up to in 2018 and the culture hasn't changed, I think it's really sick for black people to still be trying to explain racism. You don't have to explain it. Uh, the authors of this madness know exactly what's going on. They are the narcissists. They are the big narcissists. And the rest of the institutions, the criminal justice system, and the other institutions that represent the great America are the flying monkeys. And so, just as an abused family is like immobile and you hit one and they all move, well, you have to realize that we are the abused children of this system. And I keep saying that. People get mad when I say it. That's just how I see the world. I see it like that. I'm an artist. So I see things in terms of how Picasso would explain it, maybe. So I see the madness. The madness is it's not real, but it is real. It's a construct. But they work this shit so perfectly that you have a group of people who are so psychotic that, and they're very insecure. They know that there's something wrong. Most of them, like I said, are complicit because it doesn't affect them per se, but it does. And we are the little engine that could. So we are the blood, the sweat, and the tears that finance this fiasco of a country. Everything that comes out of the soil of Africa is rich. Everything that comes from the first human being is rich. Think about that. And think about it in a more broader term. Think how they make money off of us. Whether it's through sports, whether it's through entertainment. They have agents and lawyers in place that rip you off, that their families end up still living off of your money when your family is out here struggling for crumbs. Something's got to be innately wrong with a system that would allow people to continuously feed off another group. And this is what has happened to us. And nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to talk about that aspect, because if you talk about that, then you're going to have to start talking about some type of retribution. Okay? So while I understand that Starbucks knows that there's a problem, this whole fucking country is a problem. And in my opinion, the system needs to be burned down, period. And a new system has to be replaced with a system of justice. That's not going to happen because America can't go. It won't be able to go without the black and brown bodies that it feeds off of. So now, there are white people who are not doing as well as they were doing 30 years ago. And so all they do is see us as a group of people who are complaining, as a group of people who are violent, as a group of people who don't want anything, who are lazy. And it's really amazing that you can see how dumb they are, because anybody that knows they could call a group of people lazy when you couldn't even breastfeed your own baby, and you had black women breastfeeding your baby, that's the epitome of laziness as far as I'm concerned. There are white great-great-grandmothers and families who had their babies sucking the breast from black women, nursing from black women, white babies, yet they call you lazy. White people call maids into their homes when they got a little rich. Now it's more the Mexicans, but they don't even want to clean their own home. They can't pick up behind themselves, yet they'll call you lazy. So see, you have to understand the kind of thinking, the backwards thinking of people like this. And you have to understand the backwards thinking of you to even to be subjected mentally to the diabolical madness of this narcissistic society. Once you understand that you're dealing with a people who are satanic, when I say satanic, I mean they're, it's not human. And anytime a person that is of a different hue agree with this and won't stand up for justice, it's because they're benefiting from it. When you look at that book Black Like Me, or the show that they took off that Ice Cube did, because white people couldn't stand to live in your black shoes for a day, I'll even say a few hours, with the stares and the clutching of the purses and the looking at somebody like they're a second-class citizen, or walking around like I'm better than. White people couldn't take that. There's a very interesting movie called White Man's Burden. I think everybody should look at it. It was a reason why they wouldn't let it stay in the theaters, because white people, well, the system of white supremacy has made Caucasian people so insecure that when they deal with the truth, they can't handle it. They have to start a fight. They have to do something. They have to grab an AK-47, because the reality that you have bitten into a system that has tricked you as well, made you feel that you are superior to a group of people, has damaged your psyche, as well as it's damaged black people's psyche to feel that they're inferior to people like you. So when we start talking about the whole Starbucks thing, and again, I want to correct, that's the purpose of this video, to correct my statement that 8,000 Starbucks will be closed down. They'll be only closed down for a day or so to have this diversity training, which I think is a big joke, and especially if the ADL has anything to do with it. Anti-Defamation League. Okay? So, let me just make sure I make this correction. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, leave your comments below. I want to say that I know a lot of y'all are still recovering from 420. I hope y'all out there, and I hope y'all ain't smoked yourself out to death. But if you are under the sound of my voice, leave a comment. Like, subscribe, and share. Or tell me what you think. Give me your opinion about what I just said about the Starbucks and thinking that you can police people's psyche and hearts. No, I don't think so. I just think people only criminalize their behavior and punish them accordingly. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. In a minute. Bye-bye.